Splish splash. That's the sound that paint makes when it drips. Actually, the sound that my paint would make would probably. That's probably the sound my paint makes because it's not as splishy splashy. But it's also that's a little too wet of a sound. I think the actual sound would be more like a. All right, things are getting weird right now.
You're getting weird.
Let's get back to normal. Let's be normal. Alexa, will you stop blinking? Alexa, stop blinking.
Why are you telling her? She doesn't want to.
It's creepy. Every time we say something, Alexa flashes. Alexa, cancel. Anyway, let's get to painting. Let's do some painting. We're almost like we're nearing the finale. We're probably about halfway done with this piece. Have a couple more areas to really touch up, but other than that, I think we could be really happy about this piece. And what do I really need to touch up right now? Let me think about it. I was supposed to this afternoon, I was supposed to figure out what I wanted to put into this background right here. And I still haven't figured that out. I gotta remember I should do that probably tomorrow or something. But let me tighten up some of these heads. I think that's one thing I could actually do right now. I'm gonna tighten up some of the heads. So let's shape and form some of the faces here. It's a good brush for that. Who's here? We are going to use a nice angular brush here, and that's how we're going to paint this. Let's see. You know what? These faces are okay. I just don't like that guy's face, but maybe we won't use the angular brush right away. Let's grab a yellow here. Make it a little bit of a pink yellow. I'm going to go across the top here. I'm just going to freehand it. Just do a little freehand movement across here. Let's go free. Some highlights on this right here. And this isn't the actual color that I'm seeing, but I do like this idea of like having these gold walls for this ancient Roman Colosseum. So this isn't like the actual Colosseum because this was the Colosseum. Ali K, thanks so much. Is this Glad? Yes. Ding, ding, ding. 3G. You guessed accurately. Yes, that's right. Unfortunately, I don't have any prizes for you. But, yeah, awesome job, dude. Yes, this is from Gladiator. And one of the best movies of all time. I think you can agree to that, right? So, of course, Jimon Hanso. And Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe's face still needs a little bit of work, but I can say that I'm pretty happy. Happy of where we've come, especially since I'm not getting too bogged down with the exact features. W movie Biebs. What's up, Biebs? You wouldn't happen to be Justin Bieber, would ya? If you are Justin Bieber, let's all welcome Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber is in the house. Let's all welcome Justin Bieber. One of the greatest musicians of our time, right? I think we can all agree that Justin Bieber is a remarkable, fantastic musical artist. A great voice, a voice of an entire generation. Right? Who doesn't like Justin Bieber? If you don't like Justin Bieber, you got issues, because he's a great guy. As far as I know. But you know what? I don't really know him. I just like only know about him what I see on the news. But he seems like a good guy, right? We all have like opinions that we form. Like I think, you know, one artist, one actor that I think we can, one celebrity I think we can all agree. Like, isn't it interesting how like there are celebrities that we can all kind of agree that they're good people? Like Tom Hanks. Never heard anyone say anything resentful or like disliking of Tom Hanks. You never hear anything bad about Keanu Reeves. What a great reputation to have, where like, you know, it's almost impossible to have haters. You like him though? You like Biebs? Yeah, I like Biebs. He's a good guy. Seems like a good guy. I don't know for sure, but he seems like it. So we'll just leave it at that, right? That's enough. Honestly, when we get that famous, that successful, as successful as Justin Bieber, I think we can only hope to be as good as him. Had some issues, but whatever. We all have issues, right? Except his were all on like all plastered across the news stations and everything. Which, you know, that's its own challenge in life. But we like Justin Bieber here, right? He's a positive. I think he's a good force for good. Now, I was just saying yesterday, and this doesn't really have much to do with Justin Bieber as much as it was just like celebdom. But I was saying, you know, there's so many artists that want to be like Vincent van Gogh or Botticelli or Edward Hopper, or like, you know, there's so many artists, people that want to be like these artists. But why don't more people want to be like Mother Teresa? That should be a goal, right? Shouldn't that be isn't that a positive goal for like people to, you know, rather than striving? And you know, I'm kind of talking out of my rear end here, because here I am painting, trying to be an artist and not being like Mother Teresa. But you know, what would happen if the whole world, instead of trying to be like an artist, they were trying to be, you know, they were like, hey, let me try to be like Mother Teresa. Let's see how that goes. What if every artist, I don't know how many artists in the world there are, like millions of artists trying to be like, you know, these other artists that they admire. But what if like, you know, millions of people, why don't millions of people try to be like Mother Teresa? That's the question of the day. It's really hard, I think, maybe, you know, it's really hard to be constantly nice and totally selfless in your own life. But I guess I could be the one to you know, set the standard, but I'm not, because we all hope somebody else will do all the work, right? Everybody else. Somebody else should aim to be like Mother Teresa, not me, because I want to paint. I'm saying this a little bit jokingly, but also kind of serious. So I've been thinking I need to put something here, but I admit I've been a little hesitant because, first of all, I don't know what to put here, and then second, I'm also not exactly sure like what the perspective should be. So I'm thinking these two figures, if the perspective is going down, you know, these two figures are disappearing in a horizon line. I think that in the horizon line, they're probably got to be, the head's probably going to be around here. Like where would, yeah, exactly. So where would the horizon be is what I'm trying to figure out. I guess like the horizon would be like right here. it's like the camera's like right straight forward at the shoulder. So if the horizon's right here, and this is going back, you know, I don't know what the size of the people would be, if they would be like, here, just some little figures right here. Maybe I could just put like a head, like just a random weapon in this little corner that shows it like spreading across. I don't know. We'll figure that out. But for now, let's tighten up this area. We're gonna grab some of these pinks and yellows, and let's just shape this sword a little bit, actually. Actually, you know what? I'm going to here. I think sometimes the hardest thing about painting is figuring out exactly what you want to put extra detail into. Here's an admission that I'm going to share with everybody. This isn't a good technical admission. Like, you know, you don't want to tell your teacher this, or you don't want to tell, like, you know, your boss this if you're like working at a film at some company. But as far as artwork is concerned and sharing my approaches with people, sometimes I go into museums just to look at paintings so that I could see what elements artists like to skip, like what they consider important versus unimportant, like what they'll put a tremendous amount of effort into detailing, and then what they choose to, like, you know, just leave up to a couple of flashy brush strokes, and they don't put a tremendous amount of detail into. Sometimes I really love to look at artwork just to see that, you know, that that art is made by a human being that, you know, doesn't need to draw every single hair on a person's body, right? Sometimes I like to see artwork that's just like that, because the other artwork, I mean, I'm like fascinated, but, you know, I could never relate. But anyway, that is my admission. I like to look at art sometimes just to see the imperfections, just to search for the answers to how to paint through the imperfections of some of the world's greatest. And what I find, definitely like John Singer Sargent, you know, very expressive, incredible, phenomenal artist. And when you look at his pieces from a distance, you know, it's like beautiful, amazing. Some of the greatest works that humankind has ever known. World wonders. But then if you look a little closer, it's like they've got issues. You know, they got these various brush marks that are a little off and whatnot. I think we can all aim to be a little bit more like John Singer Sargent, expressive. Let's see. So we got. I want to add some shadow into here. So we're gonna go just add some expressive shadow pieces here into this little thing right here. And let's see, just give it a little bit of like a dirtiness, you know? There's been blood splattered all around and all sorts of things. Let me find some white here. There we go. Let's see, does this work down here? Yeah, okay. So here we go. We're gonna go into here, paint a little bit. And now, actually, you know what? I can add some more highlight along this post right here. Just gonna add a little bit of highlight up this post. Maybe bring in some of our. I don't want these colors to look too fleshy, which is where I'm going. But maybe that's how it needs to be, because I've already painted all the other walls like this golden fleshy color. Are you crying? Oh.
No, I'm laughing.
And here we go. All right. So we got some good coloration right there. Still haven't decided what. Maybe I need to watch the entire movie all over again just to figure out what I'm gonna paint there.
Yes, you should.
I should, huh?
Yes.
You think so?
Yes. Let's watch it tonight.
Olive Gladiator. So adding the highlights into there, and then we're gonna add a couple more highlights into here. Let's see, this post right here, we're gonna add a little bit of highlight into this section right here. I need to separate it a little bit from the area around it. So we need to add like a nice hard highlight. Let's see, this is going straight up like right there. So let's find this highlight. Because it helps to create separation, right? Like I got this character right here. If it's like the same exact value, then they're gonna pretty much look the same. But if I can just, you know, create a little bit of a highlight to create this harder edge here, then I've got something good, right? I got something different. And it helps to separate our figures between the background and this like post here. It doesn't have to be too precise, because these walls are made out of like human clay. These weren't mass-produced walls. These were ancient Roman walls. So let's add, I don't know if it's Roman, but the walls of the ancient civilizations. Let's add a little bit of pink here. I like the color palette that we've got going on with like little pinks and yellows. So we're just gonna blend this in, try to cover up some of the shadow. These like random streaks of black, because this painting was actually, so I did this painting over a black painting. The whole painting was black. Usually that's very unusual to do with a painting, but I like to just mess around sometimes. And you know, so general thing is you would paint an entire canvas like a light color that you want to shine through, right? You would paint it with like a red or a yellow or burnt sienna, or like, you know, whatever color you want to be the foundation of everything. And 99.9% of the time, let's see, 1 out of every 10,000 paintings will ever be probably with a black foundation, which with this painting is definitely one of those 1 in 10,000. That had a black foundation, because, you know, you're just not going to get the same color vibrance for the most part, you know, with traditional oil painting methods if you paint over black. But, you know, I like to do, you know, just experiment, play around, you know, just paint. And sometimes I do wacky things like, you know, use a black underpainting. So the technical term people talk about is underpainting. Yes, that's a technical term. Painting, it's underneath, right? It's underneath. It's an underneath painting. It's a painting underneath. So it's called an underpainting. That's a technical term, but as I mentioned, that, you know, I wasn't too focused on developing this from the underpainting. As much as I really just want to, like, you know, there's all these rules, there's all these traditional and known ways of doing things. And of course, you know, if I was to do a totally different color, it would have its totally different effect. But, you know, there's all these rules, and sometimes I like to just see, to my detriment, sometimes I just like to see what happens if I try a different approach. But anyway, I like how it's turning out. I think it's pretty good. I'm happy with where this is at, and one of my favorite movies. So you know, you can't go wrong with that, right? You can't go wrong with spending time making art around your favorite movie. How else could your time be better spent? I don't know. There's no way to spend your time any better than just making artwork. Psh, people would be crazy if they said anything different. Crazy? Who's crazy here? I know nobody here is crazy. Nobody here is a weird, crazy person. Except me. Haha. Alright. So let's see. We got a couple bowls here. Got a nice little bowl here. Add a little bit of white into there. A little too much white, I think. So let's try to tone that down with a little mid-tone pinkish mid-tone. Let's go with this little pinkish mid-tone. It should darken it just a bit. Should give it a nice. Should darken it just a little bit so that's not too bright. All right, there we go. Let me see if I can pull in a little bit of ochre here. Just want to darken this just a little bit. Not too important of an object. All right. Excuse me. Let's see. So we're going to go down right here. What are we going to do? We got some good colors here. I don't want to over detail everything, but where can I add some detail that might be helpful? Yes, we need some separation into here. So let's go grab some. How do I want to separate this? Anybody see The Grudge? Does that freak anybody out? All right. Does that sound freak anybody out? What's up, laughing girl? Hey, laughing girl is here. Time to celebrate the day. I should make a song for everybody, no matter how bad the song is. You know, it'd be embarrassing if your parents, every time they picked you up from school, they sang a really embarrassing song. All right, so we're gonna add a little highlight there. That helps to separate these walls here. And let's add this again, just so we can have some solid contrast between different figures here. And this will really help us to differentiate some of the area. I'm gonna bring out some of the color just a little bit. A little bit too much of a bright separation there. So what exactly causes this? Because this is further back. So that's actually behind one of the posts, which means this post in the front needs to be just a little brighter. There's a reason. Just to add a bit of dimension here. I really should spend some time on Crow's face. Shameless, unembarrassingable. How did you become unembarrassable? I feel like that is a skill. You know, it's not easy to be unembarrassable. All right, let's do some work on these faces here. A lot of the colors have started to become their oily selves, which means they've started to, you know, mesh together. They're a little bit less vibrant. So one of my goals right now, and you know, I have like these people with the creepy faces, and I kind of like that. You know, if you look closely, they got like these Weird, creepy faces. It's symbolic. But also, like, the way I painted it was just not painting them that great. But that's why they're kind of creepy. But I think it's kind of symbolic, you know, these like people who are watching this blood sport wearing these fancy clothes, watching, you know, these two men about to eliminate another, to slay, to defeat an opponent. What a brutal, brutal society ancient society was, huh? Who here thinks they would have survived and done well in ancient society? I don't know. You have a lot of convincing to do if you think you do. A lot of convincing. You're not convincing anybody. So I'm really just trying to brighten the area. Grab a brush that I can use for spreading. Spread some of the paint around here. I still got to tighten up his arms. The paint has dried a bit, so I have some more opportunity to play with this paint right here. You know, in a couple days, this paint will dry even further. And I'll have to even paint over some more. But right now, I just want to improve this arm. This arm still looks kind of funny to me. It's a little bit too wide around this edge here, so. Maybe I should dry a little bit further. Ego death. Painting is looking stunning. Thank you, thank you. Continue building this up. I can also see some issues right here. This thing's kind of hanging weird. You know, it looks like gravity is suddenly like lifting it up from this side. So I do have some fixing to do on this end. I think basically it's just a matter of like shaping it out. And honestly, if I was just paying better attention early on, I would have done a better job at this. But I wasn't. So now I have to fix this issue in post-production, post-painting. After the painting is dried, I'm gonna have to do this again, which, you know, that's one of the benefits of, so if you ever watch painting and you see an artist like, you know, start with like a pencil drawing and then, you know, they cover it. That's like the traditional classical way of doing things, you know? That's the tried and true method of painting, is to do that method. You know, paint into a drawing, know exactly what you're gonna lay down and lay that down, you know? That's the tried and true method. And it saves a lot of time. Like, it saves a ton of time if you can do it that way. But anyone can do it that way, but it saves a ton of time because you know exactly what colors you're going to put down and where, and you know, you're not going to be fussing around like I am with trying to get the right colors, right? Trying to make things, trying to fix things as you go. I liked how it looked before. It was a little bit rougher, so I'm going to try to figure out how I can bring that back, but you know, it's probably just going to require some scumbling. Okay. So the biggest thing is Russell Crowe's face. There's still some things that don't sit right with me. And I'm going to pull out a small brush. do some adjustments with a small brush. I don't like working with a small brush because one, I have a viewer who constantly bugs me about it, Michael Wilbur. Is always complaining when I use a small brush. Shout out to Michael. But also, more importantly, it's like when I get to small brush mode, I just like, it's just so technical. Scratch that. I don't know why I said that. It just feels so like I don't know. I just don't like using small brushes, but I do it anyway because that's just, I don't know. It's just what I do, I guess. I don't know. Oh yeah, I do it because I have to almost, right? Like I can't really paint this face without a small brush. So let me bring in some of this yellow here. Capture some of the light. Bring in some of this pink. Laughing Girl says, "You can go back to bed if I want. Let's go. Mizu, you're looking for someone to shame you for wanting to snooze. Paint with my non-dominant hand. Not on this one. I won't do it on this one. Maybe another one. Not on this one. All right, so I got a little bit of highlight around here. Let's round his lips a little bit. Add a little highlight right there. Bring a little bit of highlight into the front of his face. Good night. Take care, whoever's leaving. Whoever's leaving us. How could you leave this live stream for something better like sleeping? How could you do that? You're supposed to watch until 3 a.m. in the morning. Till you can't stay awake no more. And only then should anybody sleep. I think it's the accurate representation because he looks burnt. But there's a little too much highlight here. So let's find a good try to find a little bit of a brown. We want to brown out this pink yellow. Brown it out. Maybe lighten it. Brown it out and then lighten it and then brown it out some more. All right, let's see. What's the value on this? Let's go black into the lip here. 6 a.m. Holy moly. Do you have work today? LG. Oh, what a good name. LG. Omizu, I'm stealing that. I'm going to call her LG from now on. Thank you. Thank you for giving me a good nickname. I feel funny every time when I greet and say laughing girl. What's up, laughing girl? LG. Omizu. Always with the brilliant ideas to, like, you know. That needs work. If you need a brilliant idea, call 1-800-OMIZU. All right, we've got black on this brush. Let's go. Get in trouble with these brushes, these small brushes. And then add a little bit of highlight into this. Make this feel more natural here. He's got armor. He's got armor. Let's get back into this. This should be black. Work meeting? Oh, work meeting, yeah. What would you like to discuss today? What's on the agenda, LG? What's on the agenda? What challenges are you facing, and what challenges would you like to overcome? Let's put LG in a hot seat and help her solve her greatest challenges in life. Hot seat, LG, you're in the hot seat. Let's go. By the way, you don't have to partake in any of this madness. I'm being serious, but I'm also joking. But you don't have to partake in any of what I'm saying if you don't feel like it. You can play along, or you can, you know, just enjoy the ramblings of a live streaming guy who copies screen caps from movies with oil paint. All right, so Mizu says just roast Emmett. You know what? Either one is fine. I just want everybody to be happy. Is that so much to ask, Mizu? If it pleases you to jest and roast and make fun of me, I'm gonna pull the victim card. If you just want to make fun of me, that makes you happy, then I accept. I accept your madness. Does that make you happy, Omizu? If it makes you happy. Who sang that? Sheryl Crow? Was it Sheryl Crow? Is that a Sheryl Crow song? If it makes you happy. And then add a little highlight on this thing right here. A little scrubby scrubs into here. It's a rough, rough material. Omizone Emmett, blood related. Got a raise just. Hey, you got a raise. Awesome. Now you're challenged with a painting. Amazing. Congrats. Oh, what wonderful news. So amazing. Wonderful, wonderful news. Everybody, LG is going to buy us all brand new houses with her new raise. We're all going to get a house. All getting new houses, everybody. How exciting. LG has promised us all houses when she gets a raise. Has anyone ever done that before? Like said that they're gonna do something once something happens? Like, I remember when I was a kid, I would like say things like, "Oh, if this happens, I'll never do that again." But like something would happen and I would still do it. How does that reflect on me? I guess that means that I don't stick to my words. I don't know. It's also not totally true. Like, you know, I would definitely do things and I would totally like, you know, say that I wouldn't do things and then actually, you know, stick through what I said. But just for the sake of entertainment, right? For the sake of entertainment, it sounds better if I say that I wouldn't have done it. Too much. This painting. Poke it, go, bap. What am I doing to this face? It looks horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Let me give it this. I need to give it the dark ruggedness again. Looks like he just has bad makeup on. Let me try to find my red. Try to find my red here. All right, you know what? I'm really lost on Russell Crowe's face. Not a fan of boats. It kind of looks like Crow. You buy us all a yacht. There we go. Yacht life. Not a fan of boats. There you go. Now we're thinking. See? You ask for a boat, you get an island. Or you ask for a house and you get an island. Or something. Something that I said makes sense there. What is up? I just cannot work with small brushes, people. I just don't. Let me try to unify his face here. Maybe that will help. And honestly, this brush ain't even that small. Let me see, maybe if I just add like the tiniest bit of a highlight into the eye, tiniest value change.
Brush you? Brush you? You don't know what that is. He's funny. Look at him. He doesn't know what it is to be brushed.
Now those eyes look too big.
Cookie, what are you doing over there? No. It's like a fun stick. It's a cute fun stick. Did you know that?
Let's try one more time with a different brush. This brush may be too big. Maybe, what if we do a bigger brush? Instead of trying to go smaller and smaller, what if we try a bigger brush? Let's go the opposite way. So this isn't that much bigger, but it's still a pretty thin brush or small brush. Let's just look at the comparison, because nobody really knows how much you care until you show them how much you care. Honestly, this big brush is probably even thinner than my little flayed out brush. So honestly, I might even change this brush. Isn't that funny? My big brush, my long brush, has a thinner tip than my fine tip brush. I'm gonna go. Alright. So I'm gonna take a little risk here and try to go. I'm gonna try to go with this a little bit of a bigger brush, and let's see what we can do. Let's see what pattern we can find in making this. Maybe I just need to go a little bit more bold with some of the color choices. So try to find like a blue-green. Blue, green, gray. Green, brown, green. And, you know, maybe if we have some more color variety, we can really separate, you know, the hair.
Funny. It's just out. You're so hilarious.
No, I don't necessarily need it to like look exact, but You just get this nose and this facial hair right.
I'm retiring early. The ballet has been danced, the Queen is satisfied by her sparkler, and I should like to take a little time for myself.
If you finished your meddling elsewhere, perhaps I can offer myself as your incarnate. I hear you're something of a molder of society. I keep meeting the most intriguing woman.
I don't know what you've heard, but I ask that you leave me out of your waking about town. I am not interested.
I understand how my
I don't know what I'm doing. Sometimes, why do I do this? I get stuck on an idea and I keep going, even though it's not working. Like, he's got green on his face now. It's definitely not working. So what do I do? Like, it worked. All these techniques were totally great on Jumon Hanso. But once I get to Russell Crowe, all my ideas go out the window. Do I have a reference? Yes, I'm using a reference. I'm just struggling with it. I'm struggling with the reference.
Forgive me for rushing off abruptly last time you met. It was only that I wanted to get you this. I'm not a man of many words. What you have, I'm afraid they're not very good. But I do believe in power of the gesture. Miss Francesca, I brought some of me.
Forgive me, Lord Summer darling. Mama, I am keen to return home early, if that is all right.
Well, let us find you flattering your sister first.
Of course. Lord Summer darling. Lord Martin.
What has happened?
I believe your son Don was fetching Miss Francesca lemonade. And now she is
Not drinking the lemonade.
precisely, Your Majesty. She is not drinking the lemonade.
Now the nose looks huge.
Perhaps
Ginormous.
children do take up so much time and drain one's feelings.
This nose looks huge. All right, let's see. Now let's try to shape it. Let's go.
No, no. Forgive me?
It's looking so good.
Are you mocking me? My chest has been sore non-stop, and that's not dropsy of the pancreas. Mama said it's the play by Nancy Sarah. See it?
I may have to like just stop this painting tonight and then try to do it again. Paint over the face another day. You know what? That's what we're gonna do.
Bridgerton, fashionably late. In truth, it is not
Let's
worth
paint over his face.
No, this time we are going drinking it white.
Paint it with a nice pink.
Excuse me.
I'm gonna go for a nice pink here.
Certainly all right, Miss Fenton.
Everything's wonderful.
I'll leave the facial hair.
May I ask you a question, please? Considering how often you travel, it makes a great deal of sense to me that you seek a practical match, but do you imagine that with time, love may grow?
I do not know. To be honest, my work has such a large portion of my heart, it may be difficult to name your space.
He looks like he has a blue eye. Yeah.
I am very glad.
All right, so I got the shape. I think I've got the shape. Let's try to just use our powers of analysis to try to figure this out, right? Shape's okay.
And can you imagine all the
Let's try to get the triangle of the eye here.
the time you would have to read or exchange ideas or do anything that isn't entirely for the purpose of marrying a husband? That is interesting, isn't it? No, I meant your brother is walking right up to Penelope.
The eye forms a triangle. Powers of observation. Why am I making a triangle? Because that's what I'm seeing.
It appears you two have something to resolve. Shall leave you to it.
Maybe add a little bit more space between the eyes.
We shall return to this conversation another time. Yes? much too handsome for social room. I would be more than happy to finish your dance with you if we need a partner. Going to prevent these coming in.
Well, perhaps that is for the best.
What do you mean?
Hen, you're not married, and you hardly know him.
I know him.
Katie is leaving.
And we're gonna get a shadow in the nose here.
It takes a year alone to get where he's going. They do seem upset, do they not? Eros and Psyche backing it out.
What's he trying to say, Miss Cup? Are they not all friends?
The oldest of friends, really. Ever since the feathering days moved in across the street.
Maybe I can even make him look a little bit more rugged. Maybe I'm trying a little too hard to, you know, make it look like Russell Crowe, where what I should be trying to do is just, you know, give him the ruggedness of this character, right? Develop this character instead of spending too much time trying to make it look like Russell Crowe, to just put the effort into making it look like a rugged gladiator warrior. Let's see if this strategy and approach works. Just looks a little flat right now. That's the only catch.
All week I watched you search for someone. I thought you might have had a falling out with Mr. Bridgerton. But now I suspect you may have been searching for him for a very different reason. For the same reason you prefer your drawing room view there and the view it affords out towards the house across the square.
I do not know what you speak.
Speaking of Mr. Bridgerton and the feelings between the two.
I can assure you, Colin Bridgerton would never, ever have feelings for me. It is laughable to think as much. We are friends. Nothing more.
Would you like it to be?
I do not. That is not even. It's not a possibility.
I did not ask if it was a possibility. I asked if you would like it to be. Miss Featherington, with the amount of time I will be gone, it is essential I make a match that someone whose affections are not fully engaged elsewhere. Whatever it is you are searching for, do not be offended. Good evening.
Aw, she doesn't love him. She loves Bridgerton.
Uh-huh.
Do you think she'll get Bridgerton in the end?
Yes.
Why? Why her?
I will.
She's the only one who loves him.
Why didn't you ask me? Why don't you engage in everything?
Gosh, these eyes are so freaking complicated. All right. Let's add some shadow in the mouth here.
That's the girl who didn't know how to have sex.
Oh, but she was married.
Yes.
And that's going to go from eye to eye.
With wet AMD, I worry I'm losing sight of the world around me. But now, I can open up my world with Babismo.
You've always wanted to go to Peru or see Easter Island. Based off Crow. Where am I fleeing? Yeah, that sounds great.
Babismo works differently. It's the only treatment brought to block two causes of wet AMD.
Alright, let's darken some areas like
Babismo could cause eye infection, retinal detachment, temporary increase in eye pressure, an uncommon risk of heart attack or stroke, or severe swelling of blood vessels in the eye. Report changes to vision or eye pain to your retina specialist right away.
I cannot stand painting small.
With Babismo.
Ah,
The #1 prescribed treatment for wet AMD. Ask a retina specialist about Babismo.
and this isn't even that small. These heads are actually pretty decent size. I can't stand painting small when I'm not doing a good job. But when I'm doing a good job, I'm very proud of it.
doubt the music we heard earlier this week rearranged the hair. Exactly as it was.
When one chooses the heart over the head, often all reason goes out of the window. But the body is a way of knowing most independence. And this author is not going to deny the age-old wisdom of the beating heart.
It's starting to come along a little bit better.
Please. Let me in.
We'll stop at Richardson House first.
Let's add some.
What business is that of yours?
I need to know, did he propose?
It is odd. When I asked for your help in finding a husband, I did not realize that also meant you might try to deny me one as well.
It is my business because I care about you. You cannot marry that man. He will leave you. He is too particular and he is just not right for you.
He did not propose. In fact, he rejected me because of you. Because the scene you caused led him to me to have feelings for me. And it is so preposterous, I do not know what to do besides laugh. Will you please let us ride home in silence and leave me alone? Please.
I cannot. Because
Alright, what is my goal here? Need to find a good color to highlight. There we go, that's a good color to highlight. Maybe a little bit more yellow.
let's try to be
You gotta remember that this painting is still wet right here, so I have the opportunity to
These past few weeks have been full of confounding feelings. Feelings like a total inability to stop thinking about my kids. Feelings like dreaming of you when I'm asleep, and in fact preferring sleep because that is where I might find you. A feeling that is like torture, but one which I cannot, will not, do not want to give up. It is everything I have wanted to say to you for weeks.
Do you know Ferguson?
Yes. Forgive me.
Okay, I can see it. It's building up now. This is good. This is a positive sign. We're moving in a good direction, people. It's a good sign. I think I need a deeper red. Let's capture the blood sport of this. I think I've been afraid, so if I really think about what I'm trying to avoid is, I think I'm afraid of just adding some confident reds into his face. When I say confident reds, I mean like, I'm spending too much time, too much heartache and energy trying to like make it accurate versus like just capturing this color expression. So is she dreaming?
No, it's real.
Oh, so she does get him in the end.
Yeah.
Ah,
Put it in me, Colin. I've waited so long.
she did it. Alright, so sometimes, you could just like simply lack the confidence to add certain colors. And
His hand on her breast.
ooh.
Oh, no.
Ooh. A little bit too pink. Let's make this more orange.
nodded. Keep going. My skirt isn't above my ankles yet. I think he practiced with all this.
Are they going?
Yeah.
They're going. They're having
Oh,
it.
there she goes.
What?
He's giving her some fingers.
Oh. So we're watching Bridgerton.
She loves it. Look at her face. Oh, oh, two fingers.
I do think this face is coming along. It's just still really flat.
Oh yeah. Big.
It's still really flat, but I think I won't get into painting miniatures.
Oh, God. Get the carriage open and keep on driving.
No, Simba. It's not very much attention to anything.
You're a beautiful cat, Simba. A beautiful orange cat. Look at you. So cute. Yes, he's so cute. He wants to bite me. Not let that happen. Hey, not bite me.
You're coming with me.
Your family was singing it.
For God's sake, are you going to marry me or not?
He just proposed to
He
her.
did.
Yes. What a weird proposal, though. Good God, Penelope Featherington, are you going to marry me or not? Okay.
But she said yes.
She just looked at him.
Oh, and she didn't answer?
Colin. But you know she's going to. She's just like, oh, Colin.
But they sent it for the next episode, right?
Yes.
They're leaving some spoilers.
Yes. She's just swooning in delight. She's loving such a child.
She's gonna reject him.
He was the boy across the street.
She's gonna reject him.
No, she's not. If she rejects him, it would only be because she got hit by a carriage and was in a coma.
Think so?
Yeah. She fell off a horse like the other girl. And she woke up from her coma and she ended up marrying.
Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 9:33 p.m.
Alright, I'm gonna try one more time on this face before we go to bed. Before I go
Oh,
to bed.
man, you stayed up all night.
But I'm gonna grab a small brush. I feel like we've got some good progress on this face. I just need to add in highlights. But how do I make it so these highlights aren't overly stimulating?
And
Alright, so here we go. This still looks like a clown right now. And this brush is a little splayed out, so I'm a little concerned about using it. So here's the problem with me. When I see a splayed out brush, you know, I've been struggling with this facial feature, but when I see a brush like this that has like little pieces coming off to the side, I'm like, challenge accepted. I'm gonna use the worst brush for this challenge for this thing that I'm trying to paint, and I'm gonna make it work. I don't know why I do that to myself. Well, it doesn't look splayed out now, but I feel like as soon as I start using it, parts of it are gonna come off. What I gotta do is, let's see, we're gonna go color into the eyes right here. A little piece across the top of the brow. Piece coming in across the brow.
to eat. Oh, what's more to eat? Oh, my.
Now he just looks like a clown with a white nose, right? A little better. I mean, it kind of looks a little overly realistic at this point, minus the guy with the overly white nose. I have to paint over it again. Not tonight. Tonight.
Hi.
Now let's just see if what happens if I use confident colors all around. Get this pink. Make it look like I know what I'm doing, and then see just what happens. Get this. This.
Everybody.
All right, that's it. That's it for tonight. Enough. I'm gonna have to come back to this face another day. How many times is it acceptable to redo a face? Maybe I need to adjust the whole shape of it. I don't know. But alright, so what do we get done tonight? I don't know. I feel like I spent like an hour, at least an hour. I feel like I spent at least an hour on this face with no progress. At this point, I don't even care if it looks like Russell Crowe. I just want to get like the lighting right. Part of me says I should try one more time.
Emmett.
What? Right now?
Well, before we go to sleep.
Alright, well, I need time.
Okay. In the little box. She's not cooperating with me, are you? Nope. She's running when she sees it.
Alright, but before I start this, let me scrape some of this off. Ah, a lot to scrape off here. Maybe even like rub it off. Some of this. Rub a bit of this face off and see what I could do with it. Make it a neon pink cutout. It's kind of funny. You could see the painting that was underneath. That's already dried. Starting some fire here. All right, we're gonna give it one more go, shall we? Shall we, friends? This time I'm gonna go with this brown, Van Dyke brown, lighten it.
Don't you stay in there?
I'm gonna do the shadow.
You pat me on the head, Scout. You're so funny. Scout just patted me on the head.
Oh yeah?
Yes, well, I'm bending over to get the bird's towel.
Saying good job.
Yeah. Good night, son. Good night. Good night. Good night.
Silent. The whole room goes quiet. Let's see. Try to keep these shapes simple. Some simple shapes. Try to find some good old mustachio-ness. Let's try to find this mustachio color. And we can actually blend this like right into here.
Cookie, you want to bed? Bird, 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 you want to bed
And let's go with the black. Every time we go with the black, this eye gets messed up. So let me just, how can I go like,
Simba. Here. There you go.
okay. All right, let's go like this. And this is just a little bit of a transitional white. We can actually add into here tiniest sliver of white.
Anna sent.
She did. What's the look? How's the look? It's legit.
I don't know.
I'm streaming, by the way. Just
I know.
you know.
I know. I just glanced at it.
Can't talk too much right now. Too much talky. Very distracting. Let's go like this. He's gonna come up. Highlight right there. Nice big nose. Cookie said, You know what? I think it's working. He's got a.
Turn.
Hook it. Stop getting your tail and stuff.
What's she doing?
A few flourishes and I got a face. Yeah, you think so? Pookie! Pook! Go.
What's she doing? Let's go to bed, Pookie. Come on.
Pookie, go.
Whose face are you trying to draw?
Cat, can you pick?
Yes.
Can you get her?
She said that to begin with. Come here. Hey.
Just let her run away. Let her run away.
Come here.
Pookie,
Let's go. Come on, we're gonna go to bed.
go.
Come on, Pookie.
Get.
Let's go, Pookie.
Well, now I know who I could blame for my poor painting skills. My cat. Yes. Just kidding. I know I don't have poor painting
You don't wanna
skills.
go to bed?
Look at how sneaky she is. She crawls to the other side knowing that you're gonna come around to get her. This little sneaky girl.
You're okay. Let's go. Or just went in the room. Come on. Let's go.
Get a flourish.
That Simba?
There's a cheek flourish, or flourish of the cheek. Let's try to find some reds. All right, I feel hope right now. I'm feeling hopeful that this is, you know, a little bit of, got some reds right here.
Come on. Let's go. Nice Simba. Yeah, come on.
And I'm just trying to navigate this. I can't navigate this one little part of the eye here. I just cannot figure this out. Maybe just go up. Looks like he has a disappearing eyebrow. That's okay, we're almost there. Let me see. I'll bring this camera closer. It's almost there. It's just like, just the. I will show the photo later. On my, I'll show the photo on the actual, like when I post about it on my community here. Just so all of you can see what the heck I'm like having this like struggle with. And you know, the reality is I should probably just like stop right now. I should just give up painting for the rest of my life. Totally kidding, but I guess, let's see. A little bit of a different highlight there. Maybe add a splash of white. Which usually gets me in trouble, but a splash of white. And then let's go into this mouth here.
Right, in the bed.
All right. Just add a little bit of shadow underneath the eye. I don't know. Just trying. Needs to be a lot more shadow in here. I might have to take a pause in a minute, wrap up for the evening, because I feel like I'm getting unproductive now. It's getting better. Poor Pookie. It looks like good. Looks good. Almost there with the face. Thank you. It's just this. The eyes are so small in this thing. In this, whatever you want to call this piece. They're just little, the littlest slits of eyes. It was never meant to be painted with a focus on the eyes. Let's just put it that way. So if I could just get this eye just right. Ah. That actually looks pretty good. Some different look. There's a different look with the two eyes. This one seems a little bit darker. Might just, oh, should I do it? Should I add just a hint of black? I feel like if I try to dab it just a little bit, I'm gonna mess it up. Nerves of steel. I was meant to be a surgeon. Nerves of steel. Fingers. All right, well, I gotta say, it only moderately looks like Russell Crowe. There's still a lot of problems. However, I think this is about as good as I can get it right now. You know, I think it looks good. It gives him a little bit more facial hair. Looks like he's got a little bit more facial hair there. And you know what? Maybe I can add some gray blue. Let's see how I can add this facial hair to darken into the area around nose. Try not to make his lips look like ashy, which is kind of the feeling that they're getting right now. And you know what? What can I do about the eyes? There's something here. Ah, I see. So the shadow. Needs to go right around the eye. Hey, this is actually looking pretty good. I like it. Let's go. Let's get a little shadow up here. Let's exaggerate some blood colors here. Go with some reds. Make it more yellow, a yellow red. That's what we're aiming for. There was blood on it. You just, you know, just invisible. Invisible blood. Yeah, there's blood right here. There's blood coming around his nose. Ah, there we go. There's some blood. It's kind of cartoony, huh? Is it cartoony? Can't really see, can you? Move it even a little bit closer to what I've been trying to do for the past hour. At this point, I think it looks okay. But let's just add a couple flourish, a little bit of flourish as Omizu has called it, like around the lip right there. Looks pretty rough. I think his eyes are a little too close together, but at this point I'm like, you know, I'll accept anything. I'll accept anything and everything. Should maybe a little bit remove some of this shadow. All right. What is he looking at? Can't tell what he's looking at. You can't tell. You know what? That looks like a guy who's been bruised and beaten. Doesn't look like Russell Crowe. But it definitely looks like a guy who's seen some stuff. Trying to find a good value. I just want to add a little bit of highlight along the cheek. Maybe some pink along the cheek here. Let's find a little bit of pink. Let's find a little bit of pink along the cheek just as a highlight. No, that's too much. Too much. Oh, maybe not too much. Maybe it's just right. Let's see. Worst case scenario, as long as I have these eyes, I feel like I can actually, you know, work with the other stuff. But, you know, because if I didn't have the eyes, let's see if I can just blend this down just a little bit more. Let's blend this down. How do I make this? Oh, too much. Darker pink. Find just the right color to get what I'm trying to do. You know, making it rough and look kind of like muscular. It kind of gives it a feel. There's a feel, and if I could just bring it around the mouth a little bit. Bring this color around the mouth. And this highlight, this like rough highlight on the front of the cheek as well. You know, let me rest on this. Let this dry for a night. You know, even if the face is a little rough in the morning, that's okay. Why do I want to finish? Why do I want to finish things? I can't let this sit. But I like it where it's at, so I just have to like not mess up the eyes and I think I'll be good. So let's see, grab a nice, let's grab, where's this brush? Faces always look rough in the morning. All right. Oh, Mizu, dude, Mizu is the greatest internet YouTube streaming comedian. All right, let's go like this. Just. Oh, Mizu. Yeah, hey, we're good. Wow. All right. What else do I want to do? I want to do something. Now that I've got it, I want to mess it up. I want to do something to the head to make it look just a little bit. You know, the faces are so different because his face, like, there's so much expression, right? Like, there's so much expression. There's so much, like, color. Like, confident strokes to create the form of the eyes, the shape, the face, everything. There's, like, confident strokes. Whereas on Crow, I don't know if I have that. Just, it looks like it's painted from two different people, sadly. So I'm trying to find, like, a good balance between the two, if I can. All right, anyway, I'm gonna clean off my brushes and we're gonna wrap this up. And tomorrow we've got another day to figure ourselves out. But hey, everybody, look. LG got a raise. Mizu is working on his masterwork. If anybody has seen his masterwork of the giant dragon flying over the city, pretty amazing stuff. My goodness. Pretty admirable. It's really good stuff. Really good paintings. Like in this, his clothes look dirty, even though it's just shadow.
I'm going to sleep.
Okay. Thanks for announcing. Okay.
I'm telling you so don't, like, shout.
Ah, okay. All right. Well, everybody, be sure to stay tuned. I will post exactly what the issue was. Well, the face looks good, but now, you know, the problem isn't the face. I think the face looks okay. It doesn't look like Russell Crowe, but, you know, the faces look totally different. Like, this looks way more defined or way more natural. This looks like more, you know, as far as the painting goes, I feel like this was made with confident, you know, strokes and shapes to capture the faces. This one was overpainted, and, like, you know, maybe it's just because I know that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll play with it tomorrow. I've stared at it for too long. So with that, hey, take care, everyone. I'll also post the reference, so anybody who really wants it, you could analyze. But take care.